Here's the return to competition protocol. Phase one lasts at least 12 weeks. Uh, Full stop cardiovascular activity, 3 or fewer days of walking, maybe some light cycling or swimming, but with no increase in heart rate. This phase can go on from 8 weeks up to 2 years if symptoms don't resolve. But if you make it 12 weeks and your symptoms recover, you can move into phase two. So this is 4 or fewer days a week. Heart rate's got to be below 120 or below 60% of your max heart rate, whichever is lower, and RPE of like 4 to 6, so moderate to moderately hard. You can start running again a little bit. Walking, swimming, cycling continue. Hiking is great. Resistance training, but only with bands, not with weights. And if you can build up to 75 to 80% of your pre-diagnosis volume with no intensity, you can move on to phase three. If any symptoms of OTS return, you got to go back to phase one. So the timeline here is hard to assess, but the thing that allows you to move on is if you can get to 75 to 80% of pre-diagnosis volume with no intensity, you're allowed to go on to phase three. Okay, phase three. You can return some intensity to your program, but only in very small doses, and only after you get up to 95 to 100% of your pre-diagnosis volume, without symptoms returning and without intensity. If you're able to build up to that volume without symptoms coming back and not adding in any intensity, you can add at first one session that includes a little intensity at 7 to 8 out of 10, and then building up to 2. So the total volume, if you're only at one workout, should only be 5% of your total volume, and that's for the workout, not for the intensity time. And then if you add a second one, maybe that creeps up to 10% of total training time for your training volume. Watch your heart rate and see how your body responds. Hiking is really good during this phase because it allows you to add some strength without a ton of intensity. Don't go to altitude. Don't do any heat training. We want to avoid anything that adds stress that we can't really account for. If you're able to do this, then you are allowed to return to regular training.